Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, we'll say, Kalayma Yahba Shemyan Shah Bashem Marakakodash. And double honors to the elders and the apostles of great most of the rule and teach well. Just want to touch on a quick topic. I'm going to try to crack on here. I got to go to work in about 10 minutes. I'm going to take a shower and get out of here. So, I want to go over this topic of the Harlem riot of 1943. So, it was a riot that took place in Harlem, New York City. So, Manhattan, like upper Manhattan. So, August 1st and August 2nd, 1943, after a white police officer, James Collins, shot and wounded Robert Bandy, an African-American soldier. And this is during World War II. And rumors circulated that the soldier had died. The riot was chiefly directed by black residents against white-owned property in Harlem. It was one of 5 riots in the nation that year related to black and white tensions during World War II. The others took place in Detroit, Beaumont, Texas, Mobile, Alabama, and Los Angeles. 5 people died and another 400 were injured. Okay, so we can go into the cause. I might read I might skip around a little bit because it's kind of a lot. All right, so on Sunday, August 1st, 1943, a white policeman attempted to arrest an African-American woman for disturbing the peace in the lobby of the Braddock Hotel. The hotel, which had hosted celebrities in the 1920s, had become known for prostitution. The Army designated the area as a raided premise, and a policeman was stationed in the lobby to prevent crime. Various accounts detailed how Margie Polite, the African-American woman, became confrontational with James Collins, the white policeman. According to one account, Polite checked into the hotel on August 1st but was dissatisfied and asked for another room. When she switched rooms and found the replacement did not have the shower and bath she wanted, Polite asked for a refund, which she received. Afterward, she asked for a return of a $1 tip, $18 in 2024. Right, $1 was a lot, that she gave to an elevator operator. Which it wasn't. She should have just gave that shit back. she should have just not given that shit back. She should have just let that shit go. You gave it to a guy, you lost that. All right. The operator refused, and Polite began to protest loudly, which caught the attention of Collins. According to another account, she became drunk at a party in one of the rooms and confronted the officer as she told him to leave. After Collins told Polite to leave, she became verbally abusive to the officer, and Collins arrested her on grounds of disturbing the peace. Right? I mean, come on, man. See, that's the way these Edomites are, bro. They arrest you for anything. I mean, they could have just escorted her out. And you got cuffs or whatever. Or you could threaten it. You could say, I'm about to arrest you. But I mean, in certain cases, someone's straight bugging out. Florence Robinson, mother of Robert Bandy, a black soldier in the U.S. Army who was also present, observed the incident and asked for Polite's release, right? Because she just wanted her money back. It's not like she's a crazy person. You just pretty much just arrested her for talking shit. But that's Esau. The official police report held that the soldier threatened Collins in the report. Bandy and Miss Roberts then attacked Collins. Bandy hit the officer who attempted to flee in the shoulder with his revolver. Okay. So that's his view. Okay. But according to Bandy, Collins threw his nightstick at Bandy. So the cop threw his nightstick, which he caught. And when Bandy hesitated after Collins asked for its return, Collins shot him. Bandy's wound was superficial, but he was taken to Sydenham Hospital for treatment. Crowds quickly gathered around Bandy as he entered the hospital and also around the hotel and police headquarters, where a crowd of 3,000 amassed by 9 p.m. The crowds combined and grew tense as rumors that an African-American soldier had been shot soon turned to rumors that an African-American soldier had been killed. All right, so they were starting to bug out, man. All right, and the reason why I bring this out, all right, because this man was a soldier. All right, these devils don't give a shit about your military service. You know what I mean? Veterans Day passed. I don't give a shit if you're in the Air Force, and you're in the Army. I mean, they have a history of not giving a fuck about that. All right. So, and Jake has a history, of serving in these different world wars. Um, has a history of serving in these world wars anyway. Here's Wisdom of Solomon, it's chapter 5. I think I know what it is. Yeah. They have a history of serving in these world wars anyway. Like in World War One, there was a lot of Jake um, that was forced to serve on the lines there. But the Lord, preserved that. When you read Revelation 9, it talks about how the Lord preserved the seed of the elect, man. Those chosen, men, right? You know what I mean? Like those men who would give birth and whose line would give birth to elect in this time, he preserved that seed, so that all the brothers you see now, can be here, The Lord had that all planned out. This is Wisdom of Solomon 5:1. All right. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as had afflicted him and made no account of his labors. All right. So, this is on one level what we do right now. Righteous man is talking about the men of the Lord, man. These brothers that you see here, great millstone from the apostles and elders on down to bishops, various brothers out there, pushing this truth across the four corners, man. In all sincerity, pushing 100% doctrine, man. All right, that's what they do, carrying around that stick. All right, that is a northern and a southern kingdom on it. Okay, both sides come together. Ezekiel 37. Right, and the one that's afflicted us, is our enemies, man. And it starts with the so-called white man. He's our biggest afflictor. And I made a video on to that as well. The African dodger, right? Alligator bait. All these different atrocities, right? The conquistadors did, to Jake, butchering them, severing limbs, burning them alive. They did horrendously. They did evil. Okay. And make no account of his labors, right? And they make no account of our labors on the spiritual sense first and foremost, right? Because they see us in the highways and byways, all they do is scoff and try to come with their stupid ass save everyone doctrine, when in reality, they're fucking selfish ass. They're just trying to save themselves. They're trying to muscle their way into becoming part of this thing, which you can't, right? You can't. This thing is only for the 12 tribes, right? And the seed that has been spread abroad. Because you could look like another nation, and really be, of the, really be Israelite, You got to go back into that history, Like, you look like so-called white man, but, you're Irish. You got to go back to when, these different black kings ruled in Ireland in different regions, over there, right? Ireland. It's like Angry Land or something, Angry Man or something like that. I can't remember where it goes into, but it goes into, the Dark Ages. Jake was ruling, man, and that's in the scriptures, Revelation 20. Right? But they make no account of our labors on a physical sense as well, because Jake has done all kinds of things in the society, and these devils, they make no account, make no account. They don't take account of it. So it doesn't matter whether you're a soldier, whether you're a brave soldier, and you really putting yourself on the line, right? Jake has done all kinds of stuff, for this country, and they still, getting shit by the Edomites. Jake still get hanged from time to time. You hear about it. You still hear these Edomites, online pushing their, bullshit rhetoric. These different white supremacist groups pushing their bullshit rhetoric on 4chan, on different places of the Rumble. You watch different pages. If you try to look up truther content, Some of these guys are just straight up just white supremacists, man. Like Edomites. You know what I mean? They're just pushing straight hate. I saw one video. These guys were trying to make their own 12 tribes. It's saying like, oh my god, they're trying to say like the Russians or something. They were doing some goofy shit. The English. They were trying to push all kinds of goofy, silly doctrine. Um, I saw that one like 2 years ago, and I was laughing. Deuteronomy 28:16. Which, because I mean, even some of those things, I think we were talking about Irish. Some of those guys are just, I mean, those are Jake, bro. You know, some in England. You know what I mean? Go back to Jake. You know what I mean? So, right, so this is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15. But shall come to pass that I will not hearken to the voice of the Lord, their power, to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. All right, so all these curses that you read about in Deuteronomy 28, will overtake us, for not following the Lord's commandments, which we didn't do as a nation. We went off following these other gods, over and over and over again. Going back to Aaron, the bull, and all this stuff. You know what I mean? We kept going off, man, and I was a bull, I was a snake. Well, idolatry, all this stuff. We kept going off, right? And the Lord will pardon us as a nation, and that actually goes into it in Second Esdras. The Lord would pardon us as a nation, but in this time, the Lord is not going to pardon all of us. He's only going to take his elect, his chosen, right? And the Lord will be at that number. So we say hopeful elect. Scripture says, "Man, to say, Lord willing," and the Lord will save his elect, and everyone else will meet their end. The 2/3 here in America, and you'll have Jake across the world that will survive, right? And will survive the nuclear destruction and things like that. But once the kingdom's set up, we go off across the varying parts of the world. It says in Isaiah 60, and we'll grab them up and say, all right, hop in, come aboard. But if they're wicked, like the scriptures also say, those who do not want to bow before me, them shall ye slay. That's what Yahushua said. So you don't want to get right, what I mean? Execute his ass. You know what I mean? And you'll come back on the next round trip. Through the seed, right? So Deuteronomy 20:16, cursed shalt thou be in the city, cursed shalt thou be in the field, right? In that city, talking about Babylon the Great, man. He field is everywhere else. So no matter where you go, man, you just afflicted, man. You get in the city, if you're in Babylon, bro, like it's all the same Edomite spirit, man. These Edomites all over the world. All over the world, of course, but like I'm focusing on Babylon, man. It doesn't matter where you go in the Midwest. It's the same damn devil. You go here, in the Northeast, same damn devil, right? They don't take any account of our labors, all right? You come up with this, with this doctrine. You pull up, go in the word, try to talk about I'm Israelite, blah, blah, blah. They're gonna look at you. Wow, that's really interesting, and they're gonna report your ass to HR. You're gonna get fired. That's gonna be the end of that, Let's see. I had one more I was thinking about, but I think I'm gonna let that be that. Low and edified, and I say shalom.